What is happening, everybody? Welcome to episode number 32 of the Bards of Gaming podcast, where this week I am sitting down with my buddy Chris, Aeon Driver Gaming, to discuss the original Call of Duty from 2003, the one that started it all. So if you like what you hear, it would really help me out if you leave a like, a follow, and a comment. I would very much appreciate that. And if you would like to reach out to me, you can do all of that at the bardsofgamingpodcast.com, where you have links to all my socials as well as my email if you want to shoot me a message, and I'd love to talk games with you. I don't have a whole lot to talk about in this intro, so we're just going to get right into it. Let's go. All right, so this week I am sitting down with my buddy Chris, Aeon Driver. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay, good sir. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good, man. Tired but happy. Talking retro games with you a little bit before the podcast got me in a good mood. And we are going to be sitting down to talk about one of the retroest Call of Duty games out there, I guess. But yeah, I was gonna say, how's life? How you been? How's your collection?
So far so good. I'm getting to the point where I have to pare down Super Nintendo games and Sega Genesis games, so I'm kind of like hyper focusing on what I want to keep. So I have 100 game collection for the Super Nintendo stuff. So if there's
Oh my
anything
God.
I feel like I want more than the other, that means I'd have to sacrifice what I have to sell it, and that kind of keeps me in control. And the same thing with the Genesis. I think I have about 100 games there on the wall, and if I want something, then something has to go. So that kind of keeps me kind of in check when it comes to buying more retro stuff. The 360 collection, that's just it's on its own thing. So it's like it's a wall of games. So it's just gonna grow. Um, it's like the
Your
database.
collection never ceases to amaze me.
It's getting there. I think once because we're saving to buy a house, so
Mm,
it's definitely gonna be hopefully a finished basement I can turn into a whole game room. If not, then a bigger loft, so I'll have
yeah.
more wall space.
Well, I think with everything you've told me, if you decided tomorrow to sell your entire collection, you might be able to buy yourself a mansion.
At least a good payment on a house.
Definitely a fucking Jaguar.
Yeah, there you go. F-Type's calling my name.
There you go. Um, but yeah, so this week we are sitting down to talk about the original Call of Duty from 2003. Now, to go with the flow of everything, all the episodes past, I like to start out for anybody who hasn't listened to the show before. I like to start off by saying, asking my guests, how did you find this game? What was your introduction to this game or this franchise? So, my buddy Chris, how did you first start playing Call of Duty? Was this your first?
So no, actually, Call of Duty 2 was my first,
Okay.
and kind of how I got into it. So I played a lot of the single player. I didn't really play FPSs too much. It was my friend Jason out in England. He really got me into it, and he got me into playing in league play, and then eventually playing professionally.
Wow.
And I started with Call of Duty 2, playing against Europeans like on their servers. So I found myself really good with a shotgun, but very little else, just because the ping was so bad at the time. But
So you were
but
playing a
yeah,
World War II game as an American against a bunch of Europeans. History does repeat itself.
in Europe, yeah. And that took me a couple places. Like ended up going to England for a little bit, and the guy who funded my team, he was actually a World War II survivor who lived out in France.
No shit.
And yeah, he looked like English Santa Claus who retired and went to France. Basically, he used to own a hotel out in Spain. He went all over the place, and I was nice paying him a visit. It was nice going to England and paying my friends that I'd never seen before a visit, and it took me out to there and then to British Columbia in Canada, and it was pretty fun. Pretty fun.
I,
A lot of good times there, and I stayed with that team from Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 4, World at War, and then we started transitioning into the Battlefield series afterwards. So doing this, I had to go back and kind of unlearn a bunch of things that I was so used to in newer ones, you know.
dude, that's a great story though. I mean, like the fact that you got to live that experience and play on a professional level, like that's something I could only ever aspire to do. That's pretty cool. We'll have to talk more stories about that for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm down for whatever. I will say this though, with my like the team captain there, they would always say that Aeon's weapon of choice is not the weapon he has; it's the weapon he's going to be taking from you. And I was like, that sounds so badass. We're gonna keep it.
Oh yeah, and that's just like disrespectful,
It
kind of
really
like.
is. There was one time. I'll say one. There was one time there was this match. It was for third place. So we were coming up from the losers bracket back up, and it was for third place. So it was at least a podium finish, but like it got to the point where it was me against four other people, and I was like, I ran out of ammo on my gun just trying to defend myself, and so I was just going through trying to find a gun I can get my hands on, and I picked up a PPSH 41,
Oh
which
man.
is my favorite gun out of all the Call of Duty series, and I'm like, oh hell yeah. And so what I did is I threw a smoke grenade down. This was a search and destroy, by the way. I
Mhm.
threw a smoke grenade down. I faked planting a bomb and sent out two people, and I just sprayed the entire group down. And there was so much screaming going on
Oh my
during
god.
that tournament. I was elated. My pulse was just pounding.
You're gonna spend the rest of your life searching that feeling again.
Oh, I
That's
know. Oh,
that's great though.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, like so that was Call of Duty 2 you did that in?
Yeah. So that one in particular, that particular mode, that was World at War.
Oh, okay.
But Call of Duty 2 is definitely where I got my sea legs, as it were.
Okay.
Yeah.
My first Call of Duty was actually Call of Duty 3 on the
Okay.
Wii.
Oh.
Of all places, it was a buddy of my brother's came over when I was in middle school or whatever. I was a little late to the party. Like this, it was kind of an older game even at the time, and this is maybe like 2007. It was like 2008, 2009, and so a friend of his comes over with Call of Duty 3 for the Wii, and I ended up playing the shit out of it. We borrowed it for like a month. I must have beat it like half a dozen times, but it was like that was my first person shooter outside of like Doom or Half-Life.
Yeah.
Because I don't even think I'd played the Halos at that point. I was a Nintendo kid growing up. But yeah, Call of Duty 3, and it blows my mind to this day. Call of Duty 3 is like the hardest one to get.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's not available on any digital platform.
Yeah. I remember getting, because I have it on 360, and like I had to go back and play that too. Like I went from 2 to 4.
Yeah,
So like going back, and I mean it feels like a weird in between of 1 and 2 kind of mashed together.
yeah. It's it's been so long since I've played Call of Duty 3. Like Call of Duty 1, I mean, which is obviously what we're here to talk about today, was definitely rough. It was rough to go back to, but it was fun. I mean, did you have fun going back and playing it?
So I had fun with a couple of missions.
Okay.
I found myself constantly looking for a sprint button that I could never find.
Yes.
Like I was hitting shift, and like shift was, I think it was mapped to duck, like to crouch for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, why do I just keep like going on my knees? Like, what the hell's going on? Why can't I run? Like, and
I give them props for having like a crouch and a prone in
yeah,
2003, but it was so unnecessary.
right. And they had leans too. They had wall leans and stuff like that too.
You're right.
Yeah, so like you be able to like move like every which way in a standing position, or crouch or prone, but you couldn't run.
It feels like a demake of like Escape from Tarkov almost.
Yeah,
It's
I would say
like
that. Yeah.
I agree. Like with this game, I had fun with a couple of missions. I did write one of them as a standout in my like section, which we'll get to later. But I have about as many dislikes written here in my short notes as I have for likes. So I'm kind of split down the middle on this game. Um, but we'll start with the negative and then finish with the positive as always. What what really stood out to you in this game as something that you just really did not tickle your pickle?
So it was the only game where you needed health packs,
Yeah.
and I like coming from newer Call of Duties. Like you get shot, they put some strawberry jam on your screen, it goes away, you're back to normal,
Yeah.
right? Like this one, like I see that they try to strategically place health packs where you're supposed to go, but once you get later into the game, once you get into like the Russian missions,
Dude.
those things become few and far between, and you're straddling like one hit point for a good portion of that, and they do it on
Yes.
purpose too. Like
Yeah.
they put you in spots where you're purposely getting bombed, and you're at 25% health. So the next person who shoots you, it's done. So that was probably one of my biggest gripes, and that lack of a sprint button. Like
Dude,
like I cannot tell you how many times I crouched looking for that. I really can't.
I 100% agree with you. Like they absolutely did design this game to like the whole point of this game, I swear to God, was to give you that feeling, was to immerse you in that feeling that you are the movie star. You are the action hero. You are that, that commando soldier who just goes 1 versus 100. And it really, I mean, I'm sure back in 2003 I would have had that sensation, but now in 2025, these 1 versus 100 battles were just fucking infuriating. And
Yeah.
with the health packs, like, yeah, they placed them strategically. Like, you could be running around the map, and I mean, the map design, like the level designs, were actually fairly decent. And it was very linear. The game is very linear, but except for some of those missions where you had to go like as a foot soldier against a tank, then
Oh yes.
oh my God. But yeah, so like you'd be walking around buildings and stuff, and you would find, check into the bedroom, like in the houses that are getting blitzkrieged and shit, and you'll find the health packs in the corner. But it and then even like earlier in the game when you kill enemies, sometimes they would drop health packs. But yeah, you're right. Like later on, towards the end of the game, they stop dropping health packs. You really are walking around most of these levels with like 5 health.
Yeah. Yeah. There was one level in particular that really grinded my gears with that, and it was the one of the Russian levels where you're holding down a house, waiting for your backup to come, and you're getting bombarded with tanks. You have to get on two anti-tank rifles, swap between the two while there are people coming into the house, and you have to
Yeah,
fight your way to it. And you barely get any health. You barely get two health packs rubbed together, and the just the amount of people that are just crawling in that place by the time you're done with your first like anti-tank rifle
yeah,
is just like, I'm just gonna sit here and just, I guess, fire my weapon until it runs out of ammo and then try to make a break for it, I guess.
yeah, yeah. Some of these missions, like one of my biggest gripes, like literally the first thing I have written down here, the first two things I have written down here are 1 versus 100 mission levels like that, where like the bridge fight when you're defending the bridge with
Yeah.
the two anti-tank guns, and you're fighting tanks that are coming across they're across the river. You got enemies surrounding you from all sides, and there's literally nowhere to hide. If you like, you're about to die because you've been taking rounds, and if you try to step out of this little bunker or whatever you're in to go and try to get health packs from dead soldiers, you're gonna die. You have to stay. I found out that like if you just stay pretty much on the anti-tank rifle like at all times, you'll be okay. As soon
Yeah.
as you step out of that to try to fight the soldiers, you're done.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. And there was a point in time in that where I had doubled back to, like, there's an adjacent house next to the bridge,
Yeah.
and there's a rocket launcher or Panzerschreck there, and like I couldn't make it back to that artillery
Yeah.
like without getting shot. So I had to just rely on this rocket launcher to get me through to the rest of the game. And so I literally sat there with a rocket launcher and a sniper rifle and just hoping that the game or the level would end
Yeah.
like sometime soon.
And then the tanks have the fucking audacity to blow up your artillery.
Oh
So
my
you
god, yeah.
can't even go use it again. And then it will checkpoint you and it will soft lock you. Like
Hmm.
if that happens, you could be totally screwed. That
Yeah,
almost happened to
yeah.
me.
There was one time where I actually went back to that artillery. There was one time they blew it up, and it was the one, like, I would never let them get that close again. And
Yeah.
like I ran to it. And I'm like, wait, why can't I use this any? Oh crap, it's blown up. And,
Yeah.
and then shortly
Uh,
after you die. So
yeah, no, that like some parts of this game where it does shit like that. And one that I remember too was, do you remember the one where you're on the airstrip and you have the planes flying at you and you have to sit in the AA gun and shoot the planes that are coming at you? Like planes are taking off from the airstrip, but then you also have like planes coming at you, And then
Yes.
at the same time, while you're sitting in this AA gun trying to manage the multiple planes that are flying directly at you, trying to bomb you, now you're also taking direct bullet fire from these NPC enemies that are on the roof, literally right next to you. So when I was doing that mission, I kept having to, I was trying to fight everything. So I kept getting out of the AA gun and trying to pick off the people on the roof. And every single time I would do that, I would fail the mission.
Yeah.
But I had to literally just stay in the AA gun and shoot the planes and hope that my NPC allies would kill the guys on the roof. And somehow I won. Like, you literally just have to sit there and keep taking bullets and hope you don't die.
I got sick of them not killing them, so I aimed the AA gun at the roof and killed the guy. Like, I got tired of it. Like, I'm tired of taking fire. Some backup I get, and so like I would just I'd just aim it over there, and it's like, what? If the house breaks, it breaks, whatever, and just fire, and then go back to the planes. But yeah, at that point in time, you just let the planes take off, because you're going to be fighting them anyway.
Yeah. You gotta just kind of hope that, like, you gotta just kill them like a fly swatter. Just hope that they come at you in a straight line.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I kind of lost all hope or all faith in my NPC allies as soon as I saw their running animation when it looked like they all crapped their pants and they're like, they're doing that like wide step run. Like, yeah. I don't know. The character animations in this game were fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was like they're all waddling like penguins all in the battlefield. It was pretty funny looking. Yeah. Like you've come a long way, Captain Price.
Dude, that is something I actually have written down in my like section, is that I love that since day one they've always had a Captain Price in like every game. I love that.
Yeah. I was very glad to see. I mean, the voice acting was horrible. Like, he got way better, but but yeah, it was nice to see that he was from day one. Yeah.
Did they have a Reznov in this game as well? I don't remember.
No,
they didn't. Okay.
I was hoping to see like your Reznov, but no.
Yeah. No Ghost, no Soap. I think Soap was Call of Duty 4 and on, but yeah.
Yeah.
I will say another thing that kind of drove me up the wall with this game was any time you had to fight tanks on foot. Just any time you had to do that.
Yeah, I could see that. It was pretty annoying. The machine guns were so on point on those tanks.
Yeah.
Like they would be on you. Actually, the mounted MGs were the same way. They would be on you the moment you popped your head out.
Oh, dude, yeah. Like, good luck. Like, sometimes the only way you could do it was trying to snipe them. And you're right. Like, I don't know if by design, like, if in the code somewhere in this game they had it where, like, if you were prone, maybe the machine guns missed you. Like, maybe it changed the hit percentage or something. I don't know. That, like, I could see that being a mechanic. Like, maybe that's why they had the prone implemented, because otherwise it was totally useless.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, like, I could definitely see them putting that mechanic in there. But yeah, anytime I would try to poke my head out to shoot one of the bunkers with a sniper rifle, it was instant. You're right.
Yeah. I think there was one part towards the end where you have to hit one of those up with dynamite, one of the tanks up with dynamite, and then like run away. Yeah. And you have to like flank it so hard to the point where like they're not going to aim at anybody else if they see you. They're just going to go right after you. Is
that the mission where you're like literally? I think you're playing in Russia, or as the Russian campaign. It's like Red Square or something. But you literally have to run from building to building around the entire perimeter of the map to try to get to that one tank to drop dynamite on it. Is that?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, I think it might have been. Because I know you do Red Square, and I know you fight tanks there. That might have been Berlin, like the very last level.
Okay. Oh yeah, you know what? I think you're right. I have the mission list up.
Where you have to go back and forth with like a rocket launcher and just like hide behind a tank and hope you don't get hit.
Yeah, there was that, and then the tank factory that you had to like do the most. On foot tank fighting, and just, I mean, anytime you would start to hear there was that you couldn't fucking miss it, that tank, like the track rolling noise. And that's how you always knew there was a tank entering the arena. And as soon as I heard that, if I was on foot, I let out a big groan. I was like, this is just I have to find like anytime I would see a rocket launcher anywhere in the map, I knew it was coming. And
No, yeah.
it just sucked because they never went down in one hit. And you would have to like drop a weapon. Sometimes you have, like the PPSH and the MP40, two bangers of guns. And
Mhm.
so you have to drop one, run back to where you found that rocket launcher, pick it up, and they only had one shot. And then run out, shoot the tank, run back, get another one, and then run back. It's like, the fuck, man?
Yeah, by that time you forgot where your good weapon was, and so now you're with an empty rocket launcher and your secondary, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. That was like any time that we had to do that was just such a pain in the dick.
Yeah, yeah. I remember losing a lot of sniper rifles, just looking for a rocket launcher.
Yeah. Yeah, and they
Yeah.
really were they really made the most out of that mechanic throughout this game, I'll say. And like I have the mission list up next to me, and I will say like another gripe that I had fun with this game, but there were just so many goddamn missions.
There were
I
there
was
and it felt like
sorry.
they didn't really. It's okay. It felt like they didn't really like meld together too much. It was just like, here's this mission, and it just stops,
Yeah.
and then there's the next one. Like there wasn't the transition was like somebody taking a video, like a YouTube video that you're watching, and then it just skips to like another part of the YouTube video because they edited it somewhere,
Yeah.
and then it would just be like, boom, okay, right there. Like you could have just made this one mission, and you would have been fine.
Yeah, this game was literally just like fade to black, and then it opens up with a text prompt, like a an image of like a clipboard that has your mission info. So that's how you're getting the context of the story. You're not. There's no cutscenes
Right.
really. There's a lot of cinematic set pieces in this game. Like when you're in the back of that Jeep driving like bats out of hell.
Yeah.
Um, but like that that piece, like that set piece, also like all it was going through my head was the Benny Hill song.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Oh man.
The
Yeah.
anime, dude, you're zooming in that fucking thing, and like I don't know if you've ever been in one of those old Jeeps, like in real life, they are not fast.
Right. I
But
haven't, but like, I mean, honestly, just the fact that they like even the NPCs driving it didn't know where they were going. Like,
I was laughing my ass off during that whole bit. Like you're just kind of sitting there shooting at any other enemies that you see coming across, and it was just the speed of the animations and the way that whole set piece is going. I was laughing my ass off. Like that was pretty funny. That was a highlight. But yeah, the Benny
yeah,
Hill song would have paired perfectly. I should have recorded. I should go back and record that gameplay and then just put the music over it and upload that. That was hilarious.
yeah. You should do the part where they like roll up right in front of a tank and then they have to go reverse from the tank.
Yes.
It's like, how are we still alive? Like,
Dude, those tank drivers must have been so stupid.
right, right, yeah. No, it's like they were the stormtroopers of World War II, basically.
Dude, that was great.
Yeah.
Did God, a sidetrack here, but like the I remember in 007 GoldenEye on the N64, in the first snow mission that you come across, there's like a shed that you have to go into to get a key from, and there's a
Mhm.
tank in that mission. This is going back in the depths of my memory, but I remember when I was playing that as a kid, I don't remember why or how it would happen. I don't know if it was a glitch or a bug or what, but I would always like play the mission in a way where I would end up getting into this shed, getting the key or whatever, and then as soon as I would open the door, there's literally a tank barrel right in your face.
I don't know if I know what level you're talking about, but I don't know if I ever experienced it that way. I don't know if I ever like said hello to a tank barrel as soon as I walked outside.
I don't know if I was supposed to somehow get rid of the tank before reaching that point. I don't know how it would happen. I just remember that like every like it could happen consistently. Like you could make it happen every time. Um but back to Call of Duty. Uh yeah, like I have it written down here. There are 7 missions in the US campaign alone, 6 in the British, 9 in the Soviet, and 3 in the Allied campaign at the end of the game.
Yeah,
That's just
yeah.
I mean, some of these missions are 5 minutes, but that's just a lot.
And what's even worse is that so the Soviet missions are arguably the hardest ones,
Yeah.
and they just they chock them full of like just near death experiences, like going. back and forth with explosions all around you for 9 straight missions, and it gets tiring sometimes. I mean, I will say like the Soviets in general were my favorite out of the 3 campaigns.
Yeah.
Like I liked their weaponry the best. There was some semblance of like, if you take a step back, we're just gonna shoot you. Like,
Oh,
so
dude.
keep
Yeah.
going. So I mean, like, and it's like the what little story you get. It's like you're finding camaraderie through survival. Or
Yeah.
you're not like, it's not like you're fighting for the greater good or whatever like that. I guess the government who's pushing you there is telling you that, but you're literally armed with a magazine and that's it.
Yeah.
And you have to find your stuff off of dead bodies, and it's just like, I don't know, like that part. I guess that whole like scenario kind of made that campaign my favorite.
Yeah, that one mission where like you literally get off the boat and like or like so the one kind of like I guess sort of quote unquote cutscene that they have is at the beginning of that mission, and yeah, you're coming into the what was that? Was that Stalingrad riverbank, I think?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're coming in like on the boats, and one of your other fellow soldiers kind of has like a panic attack and goes to jump off the side of the boat, and then they shoot him, and
Yep.
that's kind of like where it tells you like, oh shit, okay, so they really mean like if you turn around and try to run away or try to abandon, then they will kill you. And
Like, yeah, you're instantly a traitor and you're instantly going to get a blicky. That's pretty much it.
yeah, and I gotta ask, like, anybody listening to this, who hasn't tried it? Like,
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
to.
It's like, maybe it didn't, maybe it just worked for that guy. Maybe they all of a sudden just don't have ammo for me.
Yeah, like there's no way they're really gonna do it. Like I'm the main character, but no, they fucking do it.
Yep. And it's like, well, that was a nice life, I guess.
Yeah, and they tell it's crazy because you're right. Like when you get off the boat, they're like, "Hey, here's a gun," or like I don't even know if you have a gun. They're just like, "Hey, go to that guy and get equipped." So you just like you're totally empty-handed or whatever. And yeah, you have to go and find the shit, and they have no direction. Like you don't know who you're going to talk to.
Right. Yeah. And you see them handing out guns. They hand out a gun to the guy in front of you, and they hand out a gun to the guy behind you,
Yeah.
and they give you just a magazine.
Yeah, and I think they give you a Mosin too. It's not even like they give you a PPSH, right?
You find the Mosin, and at that same time, like everybody, like they're all getting sprayed down with machine gun fire. They're getting bombed, right? And you have a bolt action rifle, and you're following the sniper around, like while you are being a distraction for him.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah. You're right.
yeah, and they're like, yeah, well, you just run from there to there when I tell you to, and hopefully you don't get shot doing it.
Yeah. Hang on 1 second, sir. Let the cat in.
Certainly one like because the Allied or even the Allied campaign, like the Americans from the British and the Allied, it's all about like, yeah, we're doing this thing, we're winning the war, we're fighting for the greater good, and then just Russia's like, yeah, well, hopefully I see you on the other side.
Yeah, really.
Mhm. Like
No,
the
they.
Starship Troopers of military campaigns.
I would say that it's kind of tough because like I'm looking at the mission list here, and I mean there were for the most part a lot of the missions were pretty forgettable,
Mhm.
except for the Russian campaign. But like, um, each campaign did have at least one mission that was pretty memorable. But and we'll get into them in when we start talking about what we actually like about the game. But um, I will say I think that the Russians, like the Russian campaign, even with having the most missions, they did have the most memorable missions. They had the coolest set pieces, like
Yeah,
that. Like the Stalingrad Riverbank was sick, and then also the Red Square was sick. But yeah, it was pretty crazy.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
I have a fucking cat on my lap right now. Hang on. All of a sudden, dude, get off of me! Jesus. He loves computers. All right. Sorry about that.
It's okay. I'm
Um,
well versed in the cat language.
oh yeah. Yeah, I'm getting paralysis. He's gonna get on my lap and I won't be able to move.
Right.
But so were there any weapons in this game in particular that you either just really didn't use or didn't like?
The Bren,
The,
the Bren machine.
dude,
I have no
yeah.
idea what, like, who in their right mind would make a machine gun that you would block half of your vision?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever enjoyed using that in any Call of Duty game ever. Because it's
No.
been in a few.
Yeah, it's been. I think it was in World at War,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it was in Call of Duty 2. It might have
I
been.
think,
I never used it. I know that they used the bar for a lot of things in part two,
and that
but
is a
um,
fantastic gun.
yeah, it's very multifaceted. I wish I had a bigger magazine, but I mean the caliber of the round was like almost the same as the um what was it?
The M1 Garand.
M1 Garand. Exactly. Thank you.
It is. They're both 30 caliber rifles. Dude, imagine like just in real life, like that gun. That thing's a monster.
Yeah.
It's an automatic 30 caliber rifle.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, and like it figures that they only give it to like one person, like in the troop, because like it's such
Yeah.
a massive, like hammering weapon. It's crazy, and like you might as well just fire a single shot because it only really takes one.
Yeah. It, God, imagine going deer hunting with that.
Oh my goodness, I actually I actually shot a Lee Enfield and a Mosin, and
Oh,
like
really?
I don't know how these cats did it like back in because the slap on these guns. Like just between the shoulder and your cheek, it's just like I'm not gonna feel my shoulder for a few minutes. I only fired 5 rounds of this thing.
I guess you give it your all because all of a sudden it may not be your problem anymore.
Exactly right. Exactly. But yeah, I would say to make a long story short, the Bren was easily the gun I would never want to use in that game.
Yeah. No, I can wholeheartedly agree with that. That and just honestly in general, the grenades.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
mean, there was a lot of times where I thought a grenade would like say, okay, just gotta throw it into that bunker, and it would just either fall short or bounce back, and it's like, well,
yeah.
that was a nice life, I guess.
The aiming system on those things was non-existent.
Yeah, yeah. Even during
Yeah.
the training thing, it takes a couple grenades to get through that.
Yeah. It's I did not enjoy using the grenades whatsoever. Like you got like I think there was a couple of times like on in my favorite level, and I'm just gonna say my favorite level now, but the dam, like
Yeah.
being pretty
Oh, that was
close quarters, that was a great level.
yeah.
But like being kind of close quarters, but you also have like long hallways into blind doorways, like that is like probably the only time I really ever used grenades. But most of this game is in large open spaces.
Yeah.
There's no need for them.
Which honestly is like the exact opposite of the way most Call of Duties are nowadays, unless you're
Yeah.
playing like Warzone or something like that. Like if you're playing like a typical campaign, it's usually just corridor shooting for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, I always found like, because I the whole reason why I even went back and played this game for myself, because like I said, I started with the third game, and that was 15 years ago, but, or more. But, I've played most of the modern ones since Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4. And
Yeah.
yeah, most of these games now they kind of specialize in, like you said, corridor shooting and tight spaces, especially the newest ones, like the newest Modern Warfares. It's all
Yeah.
like it's like playing Ready or Not. It's all like
Yeah.
SWAT raids and shit like that, which is really cool. Don't get me wrong; they do a great job with it. But I've always kind of made the joke of like, why are there even snipers in Call of Duty games?
Yeah, exactly. And while we were playing while I was playing multiplayer, like when I was playing in England and all that, like we would have a designated sniper, but it was literally just to have them snipe from their spawn point.
Yeah,
Like after they left their spawn point, it's close quarters from that point forward.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess you could argue like a lot of these games, that are multiplayer like this, like Counter Strike, like Halo, even. It's like, why are there snipers? So that you can have a one-hit kill weapon. Like,
This is somebody can show off in a reel.
yeah, exactly. Like let's go back to Modern Warfare 2 back in 2009. Everybody was fucking 360 quick scoping and shit like
Yeah,
that. It's like
oh man. The
I
quick
hated quick
scoping in
scoping.
COD 4. Oh my god.
Were you ever good at it?
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
was
was
pretty good at it.
terrible.
So it's just weird, and it's honestly like they made these little thing, and I'm getting way off track here,
That's
but
okay.
they made these little attachments to where you can stick it was like a little suction cup with a light on the center of your screen,
Okay.
because you would always like whenever you scoped, it would always hit that point in your screen, and it was just a way for people to cheat, to like soft
Yeah.
mod their machine so they could just cheat with no scoping and quick scoping. And like as long as you lined up the center of the screen, you were solid. I just whenever I saw, because I used to work at a GameStop around that time, whenever I
Yeah.
saw somebody like that would buy that, I'm like, are you really having trouble looking at the center of your screen, sir?
And
Do
then you
you
look at
need help?
somebody who's like wall-eyed, and you're like, all right, I get it. Here you go.
Yeah, like he has vision problems, sir.
Look at some poor kid with like Coke bottle glasses. You're like, you know what, kid? This one's on me.
Right? Like, you don't even have to use your points for this. I got you.
Dude, I find like so. All right, like when I started going to college, I got they sent me a laptop, like an MSI Raider laptop,
Yeah,
uh, for game development for to use like Unreal Engine and shit on,
right.
and playing around with the different function keys and everything on this. There is they have it built in, pre-programmed to the laptop, like a reticle that you can pop up on your screen at any given time. It's I'm like, that's such bullshit.
Yeah,
Like
right.
it's built into the computer. It's not even like a third party software. It is literally part of the laptop software.
Oh, that's wild.
I'm like if I press the function key and the down arrow, like I'll send you a picture of it later, but it's literally built into the computer. I'm like, that's fucking ridiculous, but okay.
Like way to pay for your cheats there, bud.
Yeah, really. But
Oh my goodness.
all right, we've shit on this game long enough. Let's actually talk about what's good about it. So
Sounds good.
what do you like about Call of Duty from 2003?
So a couple of things. So we already went over the Russian campaign. I loved the kind of like the back and forth in the Russian campaign.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of the weaponry, but I also liked how simplistic the sniping was. Like there was no holding the breath. There's no like, there was a little bit of sway here and there, but you just aim and you just shoot. It's
Yeah.
it's like they took the bells and whistles out of it. They took the whole, oh well, you have bullet drop after a certain amount of time and all that other stuff. Like I get being realistic. Like I get that like especially in Battlefield games, like you want to have a sense of realism, but Call of Duty was never like that. Call of Duty was really more about like the moment, right?
Yeah.
Like you were in either a cinematic moment or like a very visceral firefight, and you had to do stuff on the fly. Even to this day, even when people are playing Warzone and new stuff, like it's still you're doing stuff on the fly in a very visceral like way.
Yeah.
So having like the whole, oh well, hold the crouch button to steady your breath. Like I have an M30 machine gun just firing at me all day.
Yeah.
Like, do you really think I want to just sit there and like, where's my crouch button? Let me go ahead and hit that so I can. No, just let me aim and shoot. And it was very simple. I liked that a lot. And then some of the missions were actually pretty fun. I mean, especially the Russian ones, the Allied campaign. I like kind of how it wrapped up and like the end video, and like
Yeah.
you like hoisting the Soviet flag over like the Reichstag and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty cool too.
No, this game definitely did have a good few highlights, and I agree with the simplistic sniping. That was always nice, and you're right. Like, it's a good thing that they never included bullet drop because, like, unlike Battlefield, and I mean Battlefield 1942 came out a year before this, but it's very clear where the differences are. Battlefield 1942 was very much like a lot of the future Battlefield games, where like their maps are 3.5 miles long.
Yeah,
So sniping like that makes sense. Vehicles make sense. Things like that. And I mean, Call of Duty, you're right, never had that. I mean, aside from until we got to Warzone, it never existed. The maps were more focused on a set piece. Like you are fighting in Red Square. Like that
yeah,
it is chaos in Red Square.
yeah,
It's not, you sitting in a perch sniping somebody a mile and a half away holding your breath. It's you nailed it. It's not like that. But
yeah,
um
yeah. They also built like a lot of their maps, and you can see this in other games now more prevalently, but they've built a lot of the multiplayer aspects and the maps around like a lane design where you have like specific lanes can cater to specific weaponry and specific tactics. Like you'd really have like a long range lane where yeah you might catch a sniper, but nobody's really going to go down there unless they know nobody's sniping there.
Yeah.
And they have like a couple of lanes here and there with certain things in the way where you can take cover and stuff like that. And it was always like Battlefield was like the simulator, but then this was Saving Private Ryan. You know what I mean? Like this
Yeah.
was the movie, right?
That's a great way to put that. Yeah.
Yeah, that I mean, but yeah, definitely had its ups. Like I said, definitely with the simplicity of the game, the way everything was just kind of just laid out for you. It's like what you see is what you get.
Yeah. And I definitely think that, this game, we got to understand, like, this is where it all started. This is their first outing, as in the Call of Duty franchise. And all in all, I think they did a pretty good job. You know, like they did have, like, you can definitely see, even in this game, kind of where their strengths are. And I think their strengths are in the corridor shooting maps, like the missions like the Chateau and
Yeah.
the dam especially, and even the sewers, and like any time it was very how do I put this, like, I don't want to say anxiety inducing, but like you're kind of on the edge of your seat. You're creeping through rooms. You don't know where the enemies might necessarily come from. They're going to jump around the corner. Those missions are so much better than any mission where it's you running through a field or running through a village and you're approaching turret nests.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely like as long as you check your corners, like you should be fine.
Yeah,
Like and definitely got like the chateau was one of my favorites. Was one of my favorite missions. Um, and that was the American campaign, right? I believe.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I definitely got some like Inglorious Bastards vibes from that, even though the movie didn't come out yet. like
yeah,
like just going around killing Nazis is all and business is a booming.
yeah.
So
It's simple fun.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And like I think there was at least I had a favorite mission from at least one of each campaign. And I
Agreed.
think that's a good takeaway. As long as you can get something memorable from each of the campaigns, including the Allied one at the end, then I think you're doing all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that looking at the level list right in front of me here, I would definitely say from the U.S. campaign, I'm picking the Chateau. From the British campaign, I'm picking the Dam. From the Soviet campaign, again, they got a few bangers. Like the Stalingrad Riverbank was a really cool mission, like having to run along with that sniper and kind of like be a distraction and all that kind of cool shit. Uh, Red Square was tough but fun. The sewers was pretty sick. Um, and then you had like the tank factory, which was a pain in the ass, Pavlov's house. But Soviet
Pavlov's house was
campaign.
the worst. Oh my god! I liked most of the Russian missions. Don't get me wrong, but that one was such a pain in my ass.
Yeah, that they definitely. I would say Soviet campaign took the cake on having the coolest campaign, but they also definitely had the toughest missions.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, if you think about it, like historically, like the Russians honestly had the hardest time. Like you like historically they had to bomb their own cities. They had to like destroy their own stuff just to survive. So I mean, it kind of makes sense. And they were pretty on point with a lot of historical accuracy when it came to stuff like that. When it came to like how you got your weapons and what would happen to you if you deserted and everything like that. Like they got that on point. That was another plus for them, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I think that at a time when I would consider this to be the beginning, certainly of the World War II video game boom. Um, there were a lot of great games out there, and I'm glad that Call of Duty was kind of like what it was and continues to be what it is because I think Call of Duty is a good franchise. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
there's a lot of like, I mean, for anybody who was around at the time, playing games back then, it World War II was everything. Every fucking shooter coming out was World War II, and Call of Duty, I think, with this game was off to a good start. Because, like I said, you could definitely see the bones of what they later became.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was what they had. What Call of Duty? There was Medal of Honor, 1942, Day of Defeat. Like it was
Brothers in Arms.
Brothers in yeah, Hell's Highway. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um. But yeah, no, it was rife with them around that time. But yeah, like it's also nice to see like this was Infinity Ward in its infancy, right?
Yeah,
This was like the team that launched like Call of Duty into where it is. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, you have other teams, like other more prominent teams now, especially in the Black Ops. So you have Treyarch, and they're amazing in their own right. But I mean, like when it came to Call of Duty 1 and 2 and 3, like
yeah.
I don't know if Treyarch did 3. I think Infinity Ward might have done 3. I had to look back at that, but yeah, definitely 1 and 2. Like Infinity Ward powered that, and they did 4. Like they did some good work in their early days.
Yeah. No, this was all in all, this was a good game, and I'm planning on playing the rest of them because like I told you when I texted you, like I like playing games kind of like from the beginning of the franchise
Yeah.
and seeing how they iterate, how they get better. So I mean, I'll definitely have you on for the next one, but I think after this will be Call of Duty 2. Um, there's another one. I ended up picking up the War Chest on Steam for like, I don't know, half off. So
I
I got this one, Call of Duty 2, and then some other spinoff. But
wonder if it's World at War, because that would
no,
be
I have World at War. No, it was something like Mission something or other. I forget what it was called.
okay. Okay. Well, like add-on pack or something like that. Or
Yeah, it was a spinoff. It was between 1 and 2, but
oh, what if it was Big Red? I don't know. Maybe something like that, or United
uh,
Offensive or something like that. I don't know.
I think it was United Offensive actually.
Okay. Okay.
think I think I'm looking it up now as I talk because I'm so good at my job. Um, yeah, it was United Offensive.
Nice.
Called it.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, if you want anybody to talk about Call of Duty 2 through like Black Ops 2, I guess like I'm your dude.
Oh, dude, you the stake or the claim is staked. I guess is that how you would say it? The stake is claimed. Yeah,
There you
sure,
go.
works. Sure, I'll get it one of these days. I gotta take a fucking nap.
Yeah. Fix it
But
in post.
yeah, fix it in post. Yeah, no,
or,
there's
or
very
do it live.
minimal. We're doing it live. Fuck it. Very minimal editing actually goes into this show. The only I listen to every episode back one time because I like if I'm with anybody who happens to like basically dox anybody on accident, I have to
Mm,
listen to the entire episode to find that one spot and
right.
delete
Yeah.
that.
I gotcha.
Because I'll have some friends that are on here and they're like, "Oh yeah, my buddy so and so who lives at this part of this place," and I'm like, "Come on, man."
Yeah,
But
I can see how that could be a problem for sure.
but dude, thank you so much for joining me on this, and let's slap a rating on this episode. Unless you got anything else you want to highlight, I think I've said just about everything I have to say about this game off the top of my head.
I mean, yeah, I pretty much got everything off my chest about it. I mean, like definitely a great launch pad for a series that has been going strong for over 20 years. So,
Yeah, I would argue this is the biggest franchise in the
oh
world at this
yeah.
point.
Yeah, I mean between this and GTA, like they're neck and neck, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, just going off of release numbers, like how many games are in the Call of Duty franchise?
Oh yeah. Like
Because
they were at a yearly release schedule like for the longest time.
I think they always have been, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Maybe not back in like the beginning, but I think they were because this was 2003, and
Yeah.
then Call of Duty 4 was 2007, I
I
think.
think
So
7.
it's
Yeah.
so that I mean the numbers match.
And then they were cycling between like 2 and 3 teams like when
Yeah,
it started getting big. So
yeah, yeah. Because we were you were yeah because they were doing Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and anybody else.
Sledgehammer was the next
Oh,
one. And
which ones did they do?
they did Modern Warfare 3 and I think they did one more, but I know that they got kind of famous for 3.
Did they do the like Infinite Warfare or like those shit
They
ones like
might have,
Advanced
yeah.
Warfare?
I
I
have to
never
look that
played
up.
those.
But yeah, you can kind of tell Sledgehammer is like a weird like it feels like a weird offshoot of Infinity Ward, like their
Yeah,
game.
yeah. I mean, definitely. Like, I don't know. I'm excited to play through the rest of the franchise because like I played 3 through I think Modern Warfare. No, I think Black Ops 2 was the last one that I played because I played all of them pretty much annually until about then, and then I
You
didn't
got off at
play.
a good point.
Yeah, well, I kind of saw them. I was kind of getting out of gaming at that point because I was like, towards the end of my high school and kind of like, more interested in hanging out with friends at that time, and then I started going through like a bar hopping phase. But
Yeah,
uh, so I missed out on like Infinite Warfare, Ghosts, like a lot of the ones that were apparently like shit by a lot of
right,
people's standards.
right.
And then I came back for Modern Warfare, like the the remaster, like the new like whatever remake. Um,
Yeah,
and that
I,
game
f-
was fucking awesome.
yeah, I like honestly like just the facial expressions alone, like on price. I was
Yeah.
like this is the price where we always thought was just done with people's crap, and he looks like it now.
I love when he's talking. I think it was in the first Modern Warfare when he's having that conversation with the lady, and he goes just like asking or telling her what he needs for the mission, and he just goes like helicopter black, and he's just like
Yeah,
that's the dialogue. And yeah, you're right. Like the animations, just everything about that game was so crisp. It was so refreshing.
yeah. The only thing I regret about the remake of Modern Warfare is the Chernobyl mission didn't really make a resurgence like it did in the original Modern Warfare. But
Uh,
other than that, it was worth the money.
yeah, agreed. It was. I'm definitely excited to cover more of these games, and I'm gonna try to blast through them. I would like to start doing episodes maybe weekly if I ever get to that point. Maybe when I graduate college, but the because I want to get the Call of Duty games talked about because I'm having fun playing through them. But I will say, oh, what, one more gripe about this one in particular, the 4:3 aspect ratio.
Oh, dude, the four by yeah. Oh my god. And what's even worse is that I have an ultra widescreen monitor,
Oh,
so it
really?
it looks like absolute hell on the like I just have two big black bars on either side.
Oh, Jesus. Were you playing in full screen?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I actually played this in windowed mode. I hated every second of it, but I was like, I tried playing it in full screen, and I have a 3 monitor setup, and it just fucked everything up. Like
Yeah.
I had to play it
Honestly,
in window.
so I put it in windowed for a second, and then I was trying to adjust the resolution so I can get it as big as possible, and then my entire computer crashed on it. I'm like, you know what? Here it is. Got it.
Oh my god, that's great. All right, so how should we rate this game?
Let's see. I think we should rate it 1 to 5 abandoned Mosins.
I'll go for that. So on
Okay.
a scale from 1 to 5 abandoned Mosins, what are you gonna rate Call of Duty from 2003, the one that started it all?
You know what, man? I'd give it a good solid 3 abandoned Mosins.
Okay, that's
Yeah. Like
that's
it's
a fair
definitely
score.
like yeah, it feels like there is, right? Because we can see the future from here. There was a lot more to it. That it had room to grow, and it
Yeah,
did grow into what it is today. But
yeah.
I mean, it's still it was a better than average game, I think.
I can agree with that. I myself, I'll rate it 2.75, like two Mosins and then one that took a grenade. Um, but like just imagine you're going through the fucking war zone trying to find a gun. You end up pulling a gun out from under a body and you pull out like 3/4 of a gun.
Right?
That would
It's
suck.
like two Mosins and 3 people holding just a magazine.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with 2.75 on this one. It deserves more than half. It deserves more than a 50. I I did enjoy it. Like more of this game frustrated me than what I enjoyed because, like you said, like you can really see like where it started. You can see kind of like where it like what it turned into from here. The bones are here,
Yeah.
and you can certainly see where this franchise's strengths are in this first title, where a lot of their design choices blossomed into the beauty of what it turned into. It all does stem from here,
Hmm.
but there wasn't enough of that. They really were trying to push more heavily that one versus 100, like you sitting in a building, like that one mission where you're sitting in like that 4-story building, just surrounded by all sides, and you just have to wait it out. Like there was
Yep.
more of that in this game than anything, and that is what really frustrated me. I did not enjoy those missions at all.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree with that too. It's like it feels like it was straddling the line between like a boomer shooter at the time,
Yeah,
and then like a cinematic experience that it's turning into in later iterations.
yeah. I mean, if they tried to really play to the strengths of cinematic set pieces and everything like that, and like just do that, like kind of what it turned into later,
Yeah.
especially at the time in 2003 on PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox, it would have probably set fire to your console.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, it also probably wouldn't have sold so well. It because I mean, you're right. Like it wasn't what was popular at the time. It was new. It was totally new.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was cool. I guess
Yeah.
it was interesting to see the history.
Right. I mean, if you
I
like this one, you're gonna love two. So
I definitely think that I'll like two more than this. I've played two a little bit back in the day. I just never played through it. Didn't never owned it. But uh, I would not go ahead and recommend a playthrough of this game to anybody unless you are going to play it strictly for historical purposes, like we did.
yeah, I'd have to agree. Just go straight to two, honestly.
Yeah. Is it that different? Like, is it definitely a step up?
Yeah, I mean, like it feels two feels so much more refined. Like, and they do get. I think they got the hint about the 1 versus 100 battles and making it a little more cinematic. Like things just flow a lot
Yeah.
better in two.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably enjoy it because I remember in three things were like three was a solid game.
Yeah.
Um, but all right, yeah, I'll definitely have to play through two soon, and once I'm done with Sims busting out and Pokemon Gold, I
Oh,
will
Pokemon
definitely.
Gold, nice.
Oh, I got it. Once I get the battery replaced, I'll be playing that. So
Yeah,
pray for
man,
me.
that's a blast.
Yeah, I ended up finding. I'll just drop this now for you and anybody who listens to this episode. Just on the Game Boy, just like I raided my dad's house, his basement for my childhood, and ended up coming across Pokemon Gold, Pokemon Silver, Pokemon Sapphire, Leaf Green, Coliseum, and Stadium. And that was
It's
my Pokemon
It's
haul.
such a find too, man. That's so cool. Like I'm so jealous, dude.
I was
Like
like,
I have a Game Boy player that's ready to receive a leaf green. Don't even.
oh yeah, I also got my GameCube with the Game Boy Advance player on the bottom. I'm like, fuck yeah, and it
Hell yeah!
works.
You got the disc for it, right?
I got the what?
Did you get the disc for it? The
I
for
do.
the hell yeah! That's where the value is right there.
I got that sitting in a case,
Yep.
and
I,
yep.
I have that so close to the Game Boy player because I'm so afraid of losing it.
yeah, I totally forgot you needed the disc to play that.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of people did honestly.
Bro, you know what? You know what I should do? I should stream that. I should Twitch stream my Leaf Green playthrough.
That would be pretty sick. Like you do do a stream or do like a Nuzlocke playthrough or whatever. Like it'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, I think I'll have to look into doing that, hooking it up. Yeah. All right. Well, we can talk about that off air sometime. But all right, thank you so much for joining me, and please drop your plugs because I know that you have a fantastic page going on Instagram, and I want everybody to go follow you.
Yeah, yeah. It's just Aeon Driver Gaming, Aeon Driver underscore gaming. That is actually now it's that TikTok and YouTube. I have all three now.
Are you on Threads too?
I am. I don't pay as much attention to them, and it's not like I don't mean to, but
Yeah.
it's just like usually like I'll say, oh look a thread thing, that's cool, and then I'll end up like jumping back onto like regular Instagram or something like that, and like I'm so sorry to people who follow me and I don't respond to them. Like I promise I will.
He does message back. I can tell you from experience. That's how I met him. But thank you so much again for joining me. What's up?
Oh no, no, I was just laughing.
Oh, but yeah, thank you again for joining me. I always have a blast talking games with you, buddy, and we will definitely have to get together soon and talk about more.
For sure, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you. So, anybody, if you enjoyed listening to this episode, leave a like, leave a follow, leave a comment. It really does help me out. And I will be leaving Aeon Driver's information in the description of this episode. And you can also find me over at the Bards of Gaming on Instagram or Two Bards of Gaming at Two Bards of Gaming on X. And you can find links to all my socials as well as my email if you want to shoot me an email and talk to me. Talk to me about games, talk to me about whatever. Tell me about your problems. I'll listen to you. You can find all that over at thebardsofgamingpodcast.com. So thank you all so much again, and I hope you have a great night. Peace out.